Well, let's see, I've been in Kerrville about 7.5 years. We moved here after I completed my contract with the United States Air Force. We have 4 children. All 4 of them are in their 30s and are living on their own. We have, let's see, 2 of them live in the Tucson, Arizona area, 1 in North Carolina and 1 in Alabama. So when we travel and visit, we go.
Plenty of places to go.
Yeah, plenty of places to go. Let's see, we have 7 grandchildren and 1 on the way, be born in 4 more months. Let's see, recently, as of 1 February, I started working for the Veterans Administration in the hospital here in town. Formerly worked for Quantum Components Limited in Fredericksburg. It's a machine shop. I was the quality assurance person there for about 5.5 years, and resigned that position to take care of some projects at home, and completed those and kind of moved on to the VA. And it was kind of an accident on that one there. An ad was in the paper, and I went and answered it and was hired for the position.
Tell us a little bit about your time in the Air Force.
Let's see, the time in the Air Force, I spent a little over 25 years in the United States Air Force. I initially started out as a radio repairman. That kind of eventually bled into all avionics. So instruments, autopilot, weapons control system, navigational systems, and radios. And while stationed in Europe, spent the decade of the 80s in England and Germany. Worked on A-10s, and during that time frame, you know, the wall was still up, and a little bit different tensions and things of that nature. Everybody in the United States Air Force that were maintainers, airplane maintainers, did a little bit more than what their job description was. So had an opportunity to learn the mechanics of the airplane, changing engines, auxiliary power units, and things of that nature. After my European assignment, I was stationed at Bergstrom Air Force Base in Austin, Texas. During that, I went to Desert Storm. And when I returned from Desert Storm, volunteered to become a military training instructor at Lackland Air Force Base. Did that from 1992 to 1995. That was a very rewarding career, very long hours, and the job there, you know, you see it on TV and things of that nature, and what a military training instructor does. But basically, we take, using a familiar term, we take civilians and we transition them into the military. We just build a foundation. That's all we do, and then they go on for other training and things of that nature. So that's what basic training does. After basic training, Uncle Sam decided that I needed to go to California, and went to Travis Air Force Base and stayed there 7 years until I retired, and moved back to Texas, and selected Kerrville. Kind of a funny way we went about selecting Kerrville. You know, you take a map of the United States and you look at it and you go, all right, there's 7 states that don't pay income tax, or state income tax, and so those are our 7 places we want to live. We knew Texas well, we knew several other states well. You kind of narrow it down, and we favored Texas because of where everyone lived, you know, parents and things of that nature, and would kind of put us in the middle. So we decided on Kerrville. We knew we were going to retire in the Austin, San Antonio area, and I had an opportunity on several occasions to return to Lackland Air Force Base, and went and visited these little towns that we decided that we were going to retire in. And Kerrville kept floating to the top. It was a small town, but yet close enough to a large city, and just had a lot of things going for it. It had the VA hospital, it had a small mall, had the river. We just enjoyed the city itself, and we decided to move here. We moved here in 2002, and been here ever since.
So what drew you to this election, this race?
What probably drew me is, I've been talking about city politics for the last several years, trying to get some sort of involvement. And an opportunity came up, and there were several people friends of mine, that asked me to go ahead and run. And I said, well, I planned on running in 2 years. I really did. And they said, no, this is a great opportunity for you to get into it right now. And they just said, please consider it. So I thought about it for a few days and decided to go ahead and get into the election. And there's several reasons why a person does that. And one is, the first reason, probably the Air Force probably had a lot to do with allowing everybody on active duty an opportunity to serve their community, to give something back to the community, not just the United States Air Force, but where you live, serving on different committees downtown and things of that nature. And then there's an opportunity on active duty to serve on different top 3 committees, the top 3 enlisted grades. Very, very used to doing something for the community. So what better is to have an opportunity to serve on the city council, to give something back to the community, is probably in my book, is probably the best thing that you can do. You've got citizen input, you're working for the citizens, and it's just not just a group or an interest of, say, the Parks and Recreation or another committee. You're talking about an entire city, and I think that's absolutely fantastic to be able to do something like that. That is just very meaningful, to be able to serve the citizens in that capacity.
You currently are serving on one of the city boards, right?
Yes, the Kerrville Parks and Recreation Advisory Board is what it is.
How long have you been on that board?
Well, it's coming up on 3 years now, so it's over 2 years.
So what got you started on that?
That was probably the easiest board to get on, I would think. There were when I went down to the city, they had, well, about 3 years ago, they had just recently filled the majority of their vacancies, and the city secretary said, look, we're going to have some openings come up. Go ahead and fill out an application and put in 2 or 3 different boards, and we'll here's the process, here's how we do it, and here's the paperwork, and the first available board might be this, it might be this. This is what we kind of contemplate. And she gave me a call probably about 30 days later, or something of that nature, saying, hey, we have an opening on the Parks and Rec. Would you be interested? And certainly. That was the first opening, and it has been very, very rewarding to watch what, I guess the best reward on that board was when we had public input on Carver Park. When we took the about 4 drawings over there as to what the perception, artist perception would be, and asked for public input. And that was very rewarding to see the citizens, the end users, if you will, military term, I guess, talk about, we want these shrubs, we would like this, and take this part of this picture over here and move it over here, and do all these things. And I thought, man, that is great, because sitting in a room with 8 other people, my perception is going to be a little bit different than the 30 or 40 people that showed up and said, this is kind of what we want for our park. And I thought, man, this, you